my name's Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I thank you for clicking on this video. If you haven't seen me before, you don't know who I am, you're like, what's going on? My name's Haley, as I said before. I am a musician. I am a huge classic rock fan, and for the purposes of this video, just to kind of highlight it, I'm also an avid record collector. And so what I really want to do with this video is just do something really kind of simple and just kind of show off all the records I got, because I went to this place in St Augustine, Florida. It's beautiful, beautiful city. Highly recommend it if you love history. Gorgeous, love it. And they have this record store there that I tend to frequent whenever I go. I honestly cannot remember the name of it right now because it's just gone. I don't have memories. So I'll put it in the description or in the comments or whatever, so I can call that place out because it's beautiful. But I just wanted to show some of the records I got there because I feel like I got a really nice assortment, you know. I spent $257, which sounds like a lot, but when you consider how much I got, I'm very proud of myself. Let me just start. I went to another place first and checked it out. I wasn't as impressed with it, so I'm not going to mention where it was, but I did get a couple things while I was there, so let me show you what I got. I got, in terms of big vinyl, I got this nice, let's try and get the reflection off, there we go, Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugent. I absolutely love this guy. He's insane. And we got, of course, the nice back there. I don't know if we have the original sleeve or not. I haven't opened this one up. But, oh, yeah, that's an original sleeve. Not a very interesting one, but an original sleeve nonetheless. So that's the first one I got. And I got a bunch of 45s. They had like a sale thing where it's like you buy 5 or whatever and you get more. So the first one I found was Too Much Time on My Hands by Styx, which is my favorite band. So I was very pleased by that one. At This Moment by Billy Vera and the Beaters. If you don't know that song, it was in this show, one of my favorite shows called Family Ties. It's very pivotal to the show. It's also Into the Night by Benny Mardones. It's like basically a one-hit wonder, but it's a beautiful song. Absolutely great love song. I got this kind of as a joke, but I got Uneasy Rider by Charlie Daniels just because I think that's a really funny song. It's very strange. It's kind of an acquired taste, but I like it. Survivor, High on You, and what's the B-side? I don't know. Let's find out. High on You and Everlasting. I don't know that song, but I'll learn what it is. And the last one was, oh yes, Reeling in the Years by Steely Dan with Only a Fool as the B-side. I love Steely Dan. My top 3 bands, if you don't know me, are Styx, Bare Naked Ladies, they're a Canadian band, and Steely Dan. It's not necessarily in that order, 1 and 2 kind of flip. Kind of depends, but Styx is always number 1. Now getting into the main bulk of what I ordered. These are all now from the main place. This absolute classic, Layla and Other Love Songs, Derek and the Dominoes, of course, so Eric Clapton. I started listening to this one, I got halfway through because it's a double album, and then I had to go do something, I don't remember, but as I said, but it's absolutely beautiful. If you love the blues and you love love songs, beautiful song. And it was only like, yeah, this was $15, which for a double album of this level being so popular, very good thing. Next I got Joe Walsh recorded live, You Can't Argue with a Sick Mind. I love Joe Walsh, so you'll actually see quite a bit of his stuff in this haul. they tend to have a lot of stuff by him, and I don't know, I'm partial to crazy people, and I think he's a little funky, and I like that. Okay, yeah, James Taylor, Sweet Baby James. I've been getting into him recently. Very wonderful. If you're a songwriter like I am, wonderful, highly recommend it. And I actually have listened to that one. Very good quality. It didn't skip or pop or anything, but it still has that nice old sound. When you get the new records and they're in the weighted 180 gram stuff, I'm not an expert on this at all, but when you get the newer ones and they're the reprints, they I don't know, they just don't sound the same without a little bit of static in it. I just like the little bit of age, if you will. And I actually don't mind it when people write their names on the covers. I have several where people have written their names on it. It's like, oh, belong to Johnny, and I think that's a really nice humanizing thing. It tells you this piece of plastic basically has been around. I think that's just really cool. The next one that I got is Toto Hydra. Now this song, this one has songs like a 99 on it. That's really the main song that I know. But I listened to it the other day. I liked All the Boys. I thought that was kind of fun. And Lorraine was good. This one kind of skipped a little bit, so I wasn't crazy pleased with it, but it was still good. Still good quality overall. It just skipped in like one or two songs. Next one I got, I was very excited to find this REO Speedwagon 9 Lives. Really good. It's kind of before REO Speedwagon got very well known. This is before like Keep On Loving You and such. It has Back on the Road Again, and of course you have all your cats back here. Your 9 cats for your 9 lives. But that one played really well. It's really good, really solid album. I was kind of surprised because I'm also getting into REO Speedwagon right now. I'm going to go see them in concert with Styx and Loverboy in June. And so I'm very excited. So I'm kind of preparing myself for that as well. As I said, here's some James Gang. So we got some more Joe Walsh showing up. Huey Lewis in the News, Sports. This is a pretty big one. This one has The Heart of Rock and Roll, Heart and Soul, I Want a New Drug, If This Is It. And I don't think I know the other ones on the back here. And we have a nice back cover. But, you know, I'm going to learn. Yes, Lynyrd Skynyrd's Street Survivors. Now, I was very excited to find this one because there are actually 2 versions of this album cover. There's the version, let me take it out of the sleeve. There's the version from before they got in that plane crash, that very famous incident with Lynyrd Skynyrd, and then there's the versions before and after. I don't English. I didn't write a script for this or anything. So this is actually after the plane crash, and you can tell because the before ones had this whole background was like fire and debris and stuff, and so obviously after having been in a horrible accident, you kind of want to not think about that anymore. So they edited that out on subsequent releases. So this was really cool. I'll put that back later. It was really cool to find that kind of out in the wild, if you will. Next, yes, Boston Third Stage has songs like Amanda on it, really, and Cool the Engines. Those are the 2 that I've heard of off of this. And let's see. It took nearly 6 years to conceive and complete this album. No orchestral instruments or synthesizers were used to create the sounds. Each individual piece of music relates a human experience, and together they tell the story of a journey into life's third stage. Oddly prophetic. I love it when musicians are just like, and now I'm going to tell you some really serious business, because it ends up being, I don't know, I like it, but also at the same time I'm like, what are you on about? But this one was a really good find. This one was only $15, which I was very surprised by the price for this. So Crosby, Stills and Nash, and I haven't listened to this yet, and this is going to sound weird if you don't know vinyl, but it feels really compact, which to me says that it was either handled very delicately or wasn't played all that much. So I am rather excited about that, because this is another band I'm getting into. There were a lot of good picks there that day. I actually went on Record Store Day, and I was frightened because the crowds, I don't really care about crowds, but at the same time I was like, people. So, but it was a small indie store, so it wasn't really actually that crowded, but it was nice. It was nice to talk to some people about vinyl. Another band I'm getting into, I keep saying I'm getting into this, but Rush, All the World's a Stage. I don't actually know anything about this album, although I see 2112 is on it, and Fly By Night. These are more so songs that I have heard of as opposed to actually heard. because I'm working on it. Listen, Rush is very high. You gotta think about it, you know? You can't just sit and play Rush in the background. I can't, unless you know it already. You know, it's just I need to focus. It's a weird thing. I was excited to find this one, Journey. Look at that gorgeous album cover. This one is actually a really good condition when I found it as well. We have our wonderful back. Try to get the glare off. There we go. Got this wonderful background back cover here. I love how, I think it's Ross Valerie. Yeah, Ross Valerie. The bass player is just kind of floating in air there. It's very funny. This one, I don't even have to read it, but yeah, Wheel in the Sky, Feeling That Way, Lights, Patiently, Anytime. Yeah, this is a good one if you like kind of earlier Journey, which I do. They have one of the best live albums I've ever heard, though granted I've not heard a ton, so don't at me. But they had Journey Captured. I'm not exactly sure what year it came out, because once again, but it was like before Don't Stop Believing, before, it might even have been before that last album, but I'm not exactly certain. But you really learn in watching that video why they called Steve Perry the voice, because he's just soaring, got these really big vocals, and it's just gorgeous, and I loved it so much. I haven't listened to it again, but I have suggested it to every person I know, so I would suggest it to you as well. Speaking of live albums, here we have the Allman Brothers Band at Fillmore East, one of the most popular and famous, I think, live albums probably ever. This, which is why I was surprised that was $15. It looks like I'm going to have to do some reconstructive work here, because I can see the back cover's not attached. So, I mean, I'm really just going to tape everything back together. I'm not, when it comes to albums, I kind of, the aesthetics are the aesthetics are the aesthetics. I'm more so a functionality person. I want to make sure I can take the record out and put it back in and stuff, because I actually listen to them. They're not just, you know, set pieces, if you will. Like, some people use them as decorations, and it's no shade, they look really cool. But I want them to be able to function as records, so I just rebooted it a little bit. I make sure I just tape them back together. Previously mentioned Steely Dan, my favorite band. I'm surprised I didn't have this one, because this is one of their more popular albums. Can't Buy a Thrill. It's the one with Reelin' in the Years, which we saw the single for earlier. It also has Do It Again, Dirty Work, yeah, that's pretty much all I know at this moment, but once again, always learning. This, I don't even need to look at the front of it to tell, is a Chicago album. Got that back. Of course, it also says Chicago right there. This is Chicago 17, which, if I listen to what my mom says, is like their most popular album, but I know it's just her favorite album at the very least. You're the Inspirations on it. And honestly, I don't know, Hard Habit to Break sounds familiar, but honestly, everything else I'm not familiar with yet. More James Gang. I just love Joe Walsh. He's a wonderful guitarist. Seems like a really nice guy. And, you know, I love the Eagles, which is why I actually also got this Poco album, because if you can kind of see in the back here, that is one Timothy B. Schmidt, who ended up being the bass player for the Eagles. He left Poco and joined the Eagles, which is exactly what had happened to Poco's like previous bass player, who was Randy Meisner. There may have been bass players in between, but I'm not a historian on Poco, but their previous bass player, Randy Meisner, also left Poco to join the Eagles, so I just think that's, you know, if I had a nickel for every time that a bass player left Poco to join the Eagles, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that happened twice. Don't you love how we just have cultural isms just in my head, as opposed to, you know, I could have information in here, but instead I have Phineas and Ferb quotes. This is, let me actually do these together. Okay, so this is the Best of the Doobie Brothers. And then this is the Best of the Doobie Brothers Volume 2. Now, I don't usually get Best of albums. But I just love this album art. And once I saw this one, because I actually saw this one first, I had to get the first one. Yeah. And I love Michael McDonald. He's one of my inspirations, one of my chief inspirations. And I'm actually going to be seeing the Doobie Brothers also in June. June's a very busy month for me. So I'm very excited to be seeing them. So I've got those to kind of prep myself. This album actually doesn't have anything that I know on it, but I do know they're kind of a one-hit wonder group. But their name is wonderful. It's England Dan and John Ford Coley. Now tell me if you know someone with a more pretentious sounding name than that. I think that's just so funny. So I had to pick it up, and I really love their song. They have a song called I'd really love to see you tonight. I had to sing it to get it the proper wording on it. But it's just a beautiful song. And they have great harmony, and if they carry that harmony into the other songs, I'll like the other songs. Once again, we got another James Taylor album. This one's Mudslide Slim. It's got You Got a Friend on it, which was written by Carole King. You Can Close Your Eyes, which is one of my favorite songs, like, ever. And I don't know the other ones at this point in time, but I will, because I actually really like James Taylor. I didn't want to. I tried to resist for years. Because I was like, that's really too mellow for me. And then I was like, no, it's just mellow enough. I like it. Jay Giles Band, of course, everyone knows. Freeze Frame is on here, Centerfold. And I don't know the other ones. There's apparently one called Piss on the Wall. So I don't know what that's about, but that's a choice, I guess. I mean, the music, creativity, I don't know, man. I was going to try to stand up for them, but I don't need to stand up for them. Once again, we got another Doobie Brothers album. Which one is this? Oh, You Belong to Me is on this. That's a song that was written by Michael McDonald and Carly Simon, if you don't know. And both of them released versions of the song. The Carly Simon one's probably my favorite, but I also really love the Doobie Brothers one, because once again, I love Michael McDonald. I just think he's great. Speaking of the Doobie Brothers, more Doobie Brothers. What were once vices are now habits, which I think is a cool name. This one has Black Water on it. That's pretty much what I know. But one of the things I really like about albums is reading all the credits and stuff and seeing who was involved and what was going on. See if I can find in-jokes. A lot of times I can. Especially if I know the band pretty well. I was looking at a Damn Yankees album, and it said that the harmony was done by the Neverleave Brothers, so it's a play on the Everly Brothers. And that was a cool inside joke, because I'm not going to get into it, but I like noticing stuff like this. Once again, Doobie Brothers, am I going to try to pronounce that Toulouse Street? I don't know. I know this album cover. Listen to the music, one of their biggest songs. And Jesus Is Just Alright, which is another song of theirs, I know. Who are these scraggly fellows on the back here? See, you probably don't recognize these three, because I don't recognize these three. But you probably recognize these two as Anne and Nancy Wilson. For a second, I thought I got that wrong. I was going to be very embarrassed. But no, Anne and Nancy Wilson. Being of Heart. Now, let's see. Oh, this is Bebe Lestrange. Okay. Honestly, I just saw, I was like, Heart, and I just picked it up. Some of these are more informed decisions than others. Like this. I said, oh, that's Sammy Hagar. And being that this is Sammy Hagar, this is I Can't Drive 55 based on this album cover, which I remember from, once again, got caught off track because I saw a funny song title. This is Dick in the Dirt. I don't know what's up with that. I'll find out, like everything else, though I'm not quite sure if I want to find out. Now, the cool thing about this this store is that most of their stuff is like really, really affordable. I mean, the stuff that I've been pulling out has been $5, $8, $10, $15. I mean, the maximum that I spent on a single album at this place was $15 during this trip, and that was really amazing because you really can't go into anywhere else and get an album for $15, especially one that plays as crisp as theirs do. And I just think that's really great. But they also have sections that are like $3 or $1. So I got this Jackson Browne album because I like Jackson Browne, but I know nothing about it. It's called For Every Man, and I only know one song on it, and it's Take It Easy, because he helped co-write with the Eagles, so that's his version. But it's literally just this plain album with just him sitting all the way in the back, just kind of chilling. And there's not even like nothing on the side. There's nothing on the spine, so you can't identify it like a book. But that was $1, which is just absolutely insane to me, because you really can't do that anywhere else. Of course, you have Yes, one of their very popular albums, 90125. I don't have these things memorized, so I had to read it. Don't at me. This album, of course, is known for having the single Owner of a Lonely Heart on it. I'll admit that's the only song I know. That's really one of the only Yes songs I know. I know that, and I know Roundabout, so I am excited to learn some more Yes songs, because I know they're very proggy, and I like prog rock. Although I kind of dance towards the lighter edge of it, because I'm a keyboardist, so if I get too intimidated by the music, it freaks me out, so I don't, it makes me panic, so so I kind of teeter closer to the guitar side of it, so I will see kind of what happens with that. My mom told me I should pick up this album. This is Bryan Adams. Which one is it? Reckless. I love it when they space out the letters like this so you can't read it. This one, of course, has Run to You, Heaven, Summer 69. I mean, that's pretty much it that I know. I really love Run to You. I think it's actually my favorite Bryan Adams song. So I'm excited to sort of see what else he has besides, Heaven and Summer 69. Everyone's heard. Specifically Summer 69. It's a lot. It's everywhere, all the time, forever. Okay. So I also while I was there, I got a couple 45s. I actually made a TikTok about this one, because it's literally, you see that? It's not even like a centimeter thick, I think. I don't know, I don't have a ruler. But it's called Sounds of the Space Age. You can see my reflection in it, haha. It has a little astronaut on it, and it's from National Geographic. And it's from Sputnik to lunar landing. And, yeah, it's just talking about different space landings. I thought it was really cool because I'd never seen an album, or, well, not really an album, a 45, or, well, I haven't seen anything that is this floppy and can produce sound. That's absolutely absurd. I had to put it on top of another album and put a cup on top of it so that would weigh enough to be played. But besides that, it was really cool. Oh, yes. This is Dennis DeYoung's Desert Moon. And, well, I don't know what the B-side is. Let's find out. Gravity. But Dennis DeYoung was the lead singer of Styx from 1972 to 1999 with a break in there. As I said, it's my favorite band. That's his first single as a solo artist. I really love it. I guess it's his first single. I know it's off his first album. But I really love that song, so I was very excited. Oh, yes. This is actually an album that one of my musician friends, his father, wrote this song, and it charted, and I don't really know what year, and it doesn't say, but in the, I guess maybe the 50s or the 60s it charted, and I found a copy of it. It's called Kansas City. It's by Wilbert Harrison, and I know his son, Lionel Harrison. I haven't told him that I found this yet, but I plan on telling him the next time I see him. But I just thought it was so cool to see that after having heard about it so many times from from him because he likes to tell the story about it. So I just thought it was so cool to finally, like, wow, like, here it is, you know. The last 45 I have is a song, it's called What About Me? It's by Moving Pictures. I don't know if it's really that popular of a song. I don't think a ton of people know it. But I used to do it on karaoke all the time. My mom did it on karaoke when I was growing up, and I stole it from her. So I just, for sort of a sentimental thing, I really was excited to find that. And I was excited because I just really like the song too. The last thing I have are a couple of cassettes. Luckily, my record player is a record player, radio, CD player, cassette player. So I kind of, have all the options. I think you can also Bluetooth into it, but honestly, I haven't tried that because it's kind of odd to do that, I think. But, so, nice show. So I got a cassette tape of the James Taylor Mudslide Slim, which I had shown you that I have it already. I actually think this might be... Oh, no, I just read it wrong. So this, yeah, it's just Mudslide Slim. I just thought it'd be cool to have it in both the vinyl form and the cassette form, because why not? Next one is this Ted Nugent album called State of Shock. There he is. It is, crazy wild hair and feathers or whatever. To be honest, I don't really know anything on this album, but reading the titles is fun. I'm not going to read these. They're not like profane, but they're definitely innuendos, and I just don't feel like saying it on camera. But so I'm excited to hear that because I like to see sort of how far can old Ted take it. And the last cassette I have, and the last thing I have to show you at all, is Steve Perry's solo album Street Talk. Of course, it has the song Oh Sherry on it. Honestly, I don't know what else it has on it. Oh Sherry, I believe. Oh, Foolish Heart is also on this album. For some reason, I thought it was on a later solo album. But honestly, I'm very excited to. I mean, look at that. It's a cassette. It's just cool. His personal management is Herbie Herbert. That's a name. That's fun. But yep. So that's what I have. I just thought it'd be fun to show people what I found and sort of give some light to this really cool record store in St. Augustine, which once again, I don't remember the name of, and I'm going to write it in the comments and in the description and everywhere because I think they could use some more attention. Remember that if you are looking for vinyl, go out to these indie record stores. There are some of them around. You may think that you don't have any, but if I was able to find one in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, where I'm from, you can find it wherever you're at, okay? I promise you. Well, maybe I don't promise you. I haven't been that many places, but I have faith. So have faith. Use Google. Figure it out. And you'll be delightfully surprised, and you'll probably be able to buy more at these indie record stores than anywhere else. So anyway, I wish you all the best of luck with your vinyl searching. I hope you'll like and subscribe to this channel if you like this, or if you want to hear covers, because that's mainly what this channel is for my musician stuff. And if this is on TikTok, because I don't know if I'm going to split it up or not, I hope you also follow me there, because I do sort of some fun different stuff there than I do other places, because it's TikTok, and what else do you expect? But if you want to see more of this, I have plenty of other records I can go through. I could just go through alphabetically and kind of show off what I have, because I haven't counted recently, but I know the last time I checked it was almost 300 records. So I have a couple. I also have a bunch of 45s, and I really don't remember what I have 45 wise, so I kind of need to catalog those anyway. So I mean, if you want to see what else I have, or just honestly pictures of it, I can post it on my Instagram. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. Alright, but I'll shut up now. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you